Welcome to another ride on Taxijabula, a show where ideas and conversations always come together to touch a lot of hearts. Much love to everyone for the continued support, and special shout out to the city of St. John's and Arsenal. It is your grants which continue making it possible for us to keep doing this show. I'm your host, Mr. T, and today we're getting to know Sarojini. She has been making a lot of airwaves in our city through her shows, Caribbean Connections. So take us to where it all started with Caribbean Connections.
When I came to Newfoundland about several years ago, 12 years, I saw the market here. I didn't see a thriving Caribbean community. In fact, the opportunity came up where I met the program director, Hans Rollman, through my daughter, Renata. And I thought, there is such a market, where do I start? Now, in my family, I've got a couple of nephews who are DJs on the side. They have what we call regular jobs, but they do it on the weekends and in the evenings. So I tapped into them and said, guys, send me some music. So I started out about 3 years ago, just bringing, music here and there. I didn't even have a name for the show. And I was asking my family here in Newfoundland, my husband and kids, what should I call the show? Because if you're living in a heavily populated area in other parts of the country where there are Caribbean folks, I could call it certain names where they would understand. But in Newfoundland, I had to give it a name where not only Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, but other Caribbean people and folks from the international community would understand what my show is about. So my son said, Mom, why don't you try alliteration? And I wanted the name Caribbean in it. So I said, Caribbean what? Caribbean what? Oh my gosh, I want to connect the Caribbean to Newfoundland. So Caribbean Connections was conceived. And I began to see the talent in the international community, such as yourself and a few other folks whom you know that were on the show, living right here. And I'm like, where are these folks hiding? I've got to bring them out into the open. I've got to tell everybody their stories and what they're about. So we started revamping the show, maybe one guest or two monthly, and not just from the Caribbean community, pretty well anything that's of great interest to Newfoundland and Labrador, to the international community, and to the mainstream.
So if someone is listening to the show, what kind of experience are you trying to get them to get out of listening to the show?
First of all, my job, I feel, is to take your blues and troubles away. So when I'm selecting the music, I always try to select the upbeat music with a theme, and that's what reggae, calypso, and soca's are all about. That I want you to experience the vibe, the whole passion, the whole flair, like you were actually on a beach in Jamaica or Guyana or St. Lucia or Barbados or St. Vincent or the Virgin Islands. So I want people to feel for those 2 hours, I'm in another world, which I love, and I want to come back again through music, cricket, special guests, and much more.
Which would you say were some of your most memorable episodes?
Every guest has brought something special. So when a guest leaves, I feel rejuvenated. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is incredible. What should I do next time? And then I have another guest on, and I feel the same way. So for me, I want to make every episode memorable, not just for me, but my audience listening. So to be honest with you, I just found everyone who came on the show amazing.
So what are the secrets that you'd say are really important when it comes to broadcasting your message through a show?
Preparation. Number one, I prepare for all of my shows. As soon as I finish one show, I'm already thinking and preparing for the next one. When the time has come for me to prepare for that show for the week, I always start a week before and I gather the information in a cohesive manner, and I start with what I want to start off with, not randomness all over, and not like do it by the seat of your pants or anything. Now, I leave that for the experts. I know there are DJs that can walk in and they just do it off the cuff. I won't do that yet. I think I still need a lot more practice. So for me, preparation is the key.
So how can some of our listeners keep up with the show or keep up with some of your projects?
So what I try to do is at the very beginning, I kind of put what the theme of the show would be so I could hold their interest longer. And I start out with some real rejuvenated, passionate, upbeat, Caribbean style vibe that might hold their interest even longer. And I talk about what we will do coming out. But we do have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. You search Caribbean Connections, and now I didn't know this, but there are a couple more Caribbean Connections programs in the Caribbean, and I think in a couple bigger cities. But if you see my poster and it says on it CHMR, Newfoundland and Labrador, you know that's the right one. And you can see the episodes there going back all the way. Now, CHMR also promotes all the programs that are on the air at CHMR. And CHMR has an Instagram and Twitter account, and they post all the guest shows on a weekly or daily basis there. So if you go on Instagram and Twitter, CHMR, you would see all the programs that are being broadcast.